Hey everyone, welcome to the Build Your English podcast, where we help you speak with confidence when it matters. I'm Iris, and today we're talking about a modern horror story that happens in broad daylight, the passive-aggressive email. You know the one. It's polite on paper, but your nervous system reads it like a threat.
I'm Julian, and yes, this is the email that starts with, "Hope you're well," and ends with, "Per my last email," which is corporate for, "I have receipts, and I'm not afraid to use them."
Exactly. The email that looks like a cupcake, but the frosting is poison. A smiley-face dagger.
A smiley-face dagger is painfully accurate, and the worst part is you can't respond like a normal human being. You can't say, "Why are you being weird?" You have to write something that looks calm while you're internally auditioning for a courtroom drama.
And you're not even sure if it's passive-aggressive or if you're just tired. Because when you're exhausted, everything sounds like an attack. Someone says, "Quick question," and your soul leaves your body.
Quick question is the email equivalent of a jump scare, and it's never quick. It's like, "Quick question, can you solve my entire problem before lunch and also be cheerful about it?"
Okay, I need to confess something. This episode exists because I got one this week. And I didn't just get it. I opened it, I read it twice, and then I stared at the wall like I was decoding ancient runes.
Give me the subject line. Subject lines tell the truth.
Subject: following up. That's it. No punctuation, no emoji, just following up.
That's not a subject line. That's a warning label. Following up means, "I noticed you're not doing what I want, and I'm about to become a problem."
Exactly. And the body started sweet. "Hi, Iris. Hope you're doing well." And my brain was like, "No, you don't."
Your brain said, "Liar." That's honest.
Then, just circling back on the deliverables we discussed, and I swear the phrase circling back makes me feel like I'm being hunted.
Because it's vague on purpose. It's a net. It's, "I'm going to imply you're late without stating any actual deadline. So now you feel guilty, even if you did nothing wrong."
Yes. And then the final line, "Let me know if you have any questions." Which is the biggest lie in the English language. Because if you ask a question, they will act like you're wasting their time.
It's like a trap door. "Let me know if you have any questions" means do not ask questions, just comply.
So I drafted a reply. And I'm not proud of my first draft.
You wrote it in the heat of battle.
I wrote it with my emotions holding the keyboard. It started with, "Hi, thanks for your email." That part is fine. Then it turned into, "I already sent this. Please check the thread." And I could feel my future self begging me to stop.
Because you can't send "please check the thread" unless you're ready to start a Cold War. It's the written version of pointing at a sign that says, "Read."
Exactly. So I didn't send it. I did what any mature adult does. I complained to a friend, then I made tea, then I rehearsed imaginary arguments in the shower.
The shower courtroom. You're standing there with shampoo in your hair like, "Exhibit A, your tone."
And then I realized something. I wasn't even angry. I was anxious. Because passive-aggressive emails don't just communicate information. They communicate status. They're like, "I'm watching, I'm judging, I'm keeping score."
That's the core. Passive-aggressive communication is often about control without accountability. They want the benefit of pressure without the risk of being openly confrontational.
And that's why people freeze. Because if you respond too soft, you feel small. If you respond too sharp, you look difficult. So you're stuck.
You're stuck in what I call the calendar hostage situation. You're trying to keep your time, your dignity, and your reputation all at once.
The calendar hostage situation is real. And the hostage taker is always named something like Mark or Jennifer. and they sign off with best.
Always best, like they're blessing you.
Okay, so here's the story behind mine. It was a collaboration. I delivered what I was supposed to deliver, but the other person, let's call them S, didn't open the file, or didn't notice. Or maybe they did and still wanted to apply pressure because who knows?
Or they're stressed, and they're outsourcing that stress into your inbox. That happens a lot.
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. Because the email wasn't actually rude. It was plausible. If I showed it to someone, they might say, looks fine. But my body was like, nope, this is the smiley-face dagger.
The smiley-face dagger is often in the structure, not the words. It's the vague reminder, the implied delay, the as discussed, the just checking, the little just that pretends it's casual while applying pressure.
The just is a villain. Just a quick reminder is never just anything.
So what did you do? What was your final version?
I asked myself a question first. I said, what do I want? And I wanted two things, clarity and boundaries. I wanted to confirm what I'd done, and I wanted to stop the weird vibe from becoming a pattern.
That's strong. Because if you're not careful, one passive email becomes a weekly subscription.
Exactly. Like a streaming service you never signed up for. So I wrote, thanks for following up. I shared the deliverables on Tuesday in this thread. Reattaching here for convenience. Let me know if anything is missing on your side. Clean. Calm. No blood.
That's excellent. You did three important things. You anchored a date, you made it easy, and you shifted the possibility of error to your side without accusing them. That last line, if anything is missing on your side, is elegant.
It felt elegant. It also felt like revenge in a suit.
Controlled power. That's the sweet spot. And notice you didn't say, per my last email. You didn't escalate.
Because per my last email is like opening a drawer where you keep knives.
True, it's the drawer you open when you're done being nice.
But let's talk about the bigger skill here. Because this isn't just about one email. This is about how you respond when the message has two layers. The surface layer, information, and the underground layer, status, blame, pressure.
Right, and at higher levels of communication, the game is respond to the surface while gently neutralizing the underground.
Neutralizing the underground is such a good phrase. Because if you respond to the underground directly, like, why are you implying I didn't do my job? You look defensive.
And defensiveness invites more pressure. It's like you're telling them, yes, you can affect me.
So basically, the goal is to stay factual on the outside and strategic on the inside.
Exactly. Factual outside, strategic inside. And this is where people make a mistake. They try to be nice instead of being clear. Nice can be vague. Clear is protective.
And clarity is not aggression. Clarity is kindness, especially to yourself.
Also, clarity creates a record. Emails are little legal documents wearing casual clothes.
Emails are legal documents wearing casual clothes. I love that. And that's why this topic is so good. It teaches you how to sound calm while you create structure.
So let's break down a few common passive-aggressive patterns without turning this into a classroom. Just two humans protecting their peace.
Exactly. Pattern 1. Just checking in. That's usually fine, but when it comes after you already answered, it becomes a quick question ambush.
The quick question ambush is when someone pretends they're low maintenance while quietly demanding your attention immediately.
And if you respond too fast, you train them. If you respond too slow, you get another email. Bumping this. Bumping this makes me want to throw my laptop into the ocean.
Bumping this is a public nudge with private judgment. It's, I'm going to pretend it's normal, but I'm also signaling you're not responsive.
So what do we do? Let's say someone sends, "Bumping this, any updates?" And you're like, "Yes, I have updates. I am a person."
The move is acknowledge, anchor, and reset expectations. Something like, "Thanks for the nudge. I'm on it, and we'll share an update by Thursday." Now you're in control of the timeline.
That by Thursday is magic because it stops the drip, drip, drip emails.
And it's not defensive, it's just leadership in a neutral tone.
Pattern 2, as discussed. That phrase is innocent until it's not, because sometimes it's used to rewrite history.
Yes, as discussed can mean, I want this to be true, so I'm writing it down like it already happened. It's a soft manipulation.
It's like they're updating the past with Microsoft Word.
Exactly. So if someone says, as discussed, you'll deliver X by Monday, and you're thinking, we did not discuss Monday, you need a correction that doesn't sound like a fight.
Here's my favorite approach. Just to make sure we're aligned, my understanding is that X is scheduled for Wednesday. If Monday is needed, I can confirm feasibility after I check priorities. You're not saying you're wrong. You're saying alignment.
That's very strong. Just to make sure we're aligned is a diplomatic seatbelt.
A diplomatic seatbelt. It keeps you from flying through the windshield.
And notice the phrase, my understanding is. It's a hedge that keeps the tone soft while still making the correction.
Pattern 3, the smiley-face dagger. The emoji that makes it worse.
The emoji makes it worse because it adds plausible deniability. If you confront them, they can say, "What? I added a smiley."
I can't be rude, I'm smiling. Meanwhile, the message is basically, why haven't you done the thing?
With those, the best response is to ignore the emotional bait. Reply to the logistics, not the vibe.
This is the hardest part. Because your body wants justice.
Your body wants justice, but your inbox needs stability.
That should be on a mug. So let's do a quick role play. I'll be the passive email. You be the calm professional who also has self-respect.
Okay, hit me.
Hi, Julian. Hope you're doing well. Just following up on the document you were going to send. It would be great to have it ASAP. Thanks.
Okay, first, I will not comment on the smiley. Second, I'll anchor what's true, set a realistic timeline, and remove the urgency word ASAP. I'd reply, thanks for checking in. I'm finalizing the document and will send it by end of day tomorrow. If you have a specific deadline on your side, let me know and I'll see what's possible. That's it.
That's so good, because you didn't accept ASAP as a deadline. You asked for an actual deadline.
Exactly. ASAP is not a deadline. It's an emotion.
ASAP is an emotion. That is painfully true. People say ASAP when they feel anxious, not when the calendar demands it.
And you can be kind to the anxiety without adopting it. You translate it into something workable.
If I had to say it in one sentence, passive-aggressive emails are usually unmanaged stress wearing polite clothing.
Perfect. And your job is to respond like a translator. Turn vague pressure into clear logistics.
Now there's one more layer. Sometimes the passive email hits a nerve because of your own history. Maybe you grew up having to keep the peace. Maybe you're used to being the responsible one. So a tiny hint of blame feels enormous.
That's important because then you're not reacting to the email, you're reacting to the feeling of being judged.
Exactly. And that's when you write the spicy draft.
The spicy draft should always exist. It just shouldn't be sent.
Spicy drafts are therapy. My rule is write it, save it, go for a walk, then come back and write the adult version.
Same. I call it cooling the metal. You let your nervous system settle, so your language becomes intentional again.
Because language is power. And the higher your skill, the more your language can protect you, without drama.
Which brings us to a very practical trick. Choose a neutral opening that doesn't give away irritation. People underestimate openings.
Yes, openings set the temperature. My top 3 are, thanks for following up, appreciate the reminder, and thanks for flagging this. They all sound calm, even if you're not.
And closings matter too. Instead of, let me know if you have any questions, which feels fake, I prefer, happy to clarify anything needed. It's warmer and less like a trap.
Happy to clarify is good. Also, let's align on timing is a nice move when timelines are messy.
And when someone is rewriting reality with as discussed, you can use just to confirm. That phrase is a soft spotlight.
A soft spotlight. It's like, I'm not accusing you, but I am documenting this.
Exactly. Documentation without hostility.
Okay, we need to talk about the nuclear phrase. The phrase people love to use when they're done playing.
Per my last email,
Yes. Per my last email is a slap in Times New Roman.
it's a slap in Times New Roman. And sometimes it's justified. But most of the time, it escalates. It changes the relationship.
So what's the grown-up version of that phrase?
I like sharing again here for visibility, or resending below in case it got buried. It implies the same thing, I already sent this, but it frames it as the thread being chaotic, not the person being incompetent.
That's such a smart difference. You blame the environment, not the human. That keeps peace.
And peace is valuable, not because we're scared, but because we're strategic.
Strategic peace. That's very C2 energy. Sorry, that's very adult energy.
Very adult energy. We don't need chaos for entertainment. We already have group chats.
True. Now, I want to bring back our 3 internal villains, because they're basically the cast of this episode. The smiley-face dagger, the quick question ambush, and the calendar hostage situation.
The holy trinity of inbox stress.
Exactly. If you spot which one you're dealing with, you know the move. Smiley-face dagger. Ignore bait. Be factual. Quick question ambush. Set scope and timeline. Calendar hostage situation. Protect your time with clear boundaries.
And boundaries can sound warm. That's the misconception. People think boundaries have to sound cold. They don't.
Give me a warm boundary line.
I can take this on. My earliest window is Thursday. If it's urgent, we can reprioritize, but I'd need your input on what should move. Warm, but firm.
That's a power move. Because it forces them to pay for urgency.
Exactly. Urgency has a cost. If they want it, they have to choose what gets sacrificed.
This is so useful because most passive-aggressive emails are really about urgency without cost. People want speed, but they don't want to negotiate.
Or they want control without responsibility.
And you're like, no, we're adults. We're doing responsibility.
We're doing responsibility today.
Okay, last mini story, because this one is funny. Years ago, I got an email that ended with, "Thanks in advance." And I swear I felt my blood pressure rise.
Thanks in advance is aggressive optimism.
Exactly. It's like they already thanked you for a favor you didn't agree to. It's pre-approved gratitude.
The response to that is similar. You define what you will do, not what they assumed you'd do. Happy to help. Here's what I can do this week. You shrink the fantasy into reality.
Shrink the fantasy into reality. That should be a life motto.
It applies to emails, diets, and New Year's resolutions.
True. So, if you're listening and you've ever opened an email and felt that little stomach drop, you're not dramatic. You're sensitive to subtext. That's actually a skill when it doesn't control you.
And the goal is not to become numb. The goal is to become precise. You feel the subtext, you name it privately, then you respond strategically.
So basically, you don't fight the vibe, you translate it into clarity.
Perfect. And if you want a single golden template from today, it's this: acknowledge, anchor, and set a timeline or a question that forces specificity.
Acknowledge, anchor, set timeline, or ask for the real deadline.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening to the Build Your English podcast, helping you speak with confidence when it matters. See you next time.
Take care. Watch out for smiley-face daggers in your inbox.